Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing very well. Welcome to this edition of discussion on the Indian Express dated 22nd of August 2022, and I bring to you some of the major highlights from the newspaper. Let's begin with our today's discussion from page number 3 pertaining to GS3 economy sector. Now this article is about GSDP. 19 states cross the pre-COVID GSDP levels in financial year 22. Kerala and UP lag. So here we are talking about the gross state domestic product, the GSDP, and recently economies of 19 states and union territories have exceeded their pre-COVID levels. In fact, 7 recording double-digit growth rates during 2021-22. So from this article, you have to know about the analysis of official data for 21 states and union territories for the growth rates and what are their implications for the economy. Alright, moving on page number 3 itself, from GS1 pertaining to role of women, the article is headlined as Number of Women Scientists Goes Up, CSIR Head Says Aiming at Further Push. Now recent Dr. N. Kalai Selvi was appointed as the first woman Director General of India's largest research and development organization, that is the CSIR. Now CSIR stands for Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. It is an 80-year-old organization. So this article talks about the overall trend of women being in the research-oriented sphere. So while overall data shows an upward trend, women researchers in engineering and tech are fewer than in natural sciences, health and agriculture, says the study. So from this article, you have to know what is the percentage of women among the researchers. Also, why is there an increase in women's participation, especially in the research? Now moving on to page number 7 from GS2 International Relations, the headline says that India faces challenge to ensure economic interest protected, says our Foreign Minister Mr. S. Jaishankar. Now Mr. Jaishankar was in Brazil and addressing to the Indian community, he stated that India faces a challenge to ensure that its economic interests are well protected and consumers are shielded as much as possible from the enormous hike in the oil prices, which is because of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. So he is on a 3-nation tour to Latin America. From this article, you have to know about the current challenges and future threats for India in the wake of Russia-Ukraine conflict. Alright, moving further on page number 9 and 12 from GS2 Governance Sector. This article talks about the Bilkis Bano rape case. Bilkis Bano rape case and Supreme Court's judgment on that. So the first article is headlined as Dilution of Rule of Law, former Supreme Court judge on release of the convicts. Another article is headlined as The Day Justice Died. This article is written by Ms. Zakia Soman and it says remissions in Bilkis Bano case come in the absence of remorse and reconciliation. From these articles, you have to know why did the Gujarat government released all 11 convicts in the Bilkis Bano case. Also, what is the difference between the old policy of 1992 and the present policy of 2014? In addition, what is the controversy over remission in the Bilkis Bano case? Further on, what is the law on the remissions and what is the possible scenario ahead? Alright, moving further. So on page number 10, GS3 Disaster Management, the article is headlined as What are cloudburst incidents and are they rising across India? So recently, as we have seen, over 20 people have lost their lives in the incidents of cloudbursts and flash floods in parts of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. This article talks about what are cloudbursts, how common are these, also can cloudbursts be forecasted and are the cloudburst incidents increasing? So as we know, a cloudburst is a localized but intense rainfall activity. It also has a very specific definition. Rainfall of 10 centimeters or more in an hour over a roughly 100 kilometer square area is classified as cloudburst event. So from this article, you have to know what are the cloudbursts and how common are these. Also, what are the mitigation measures. Alright. Moving further on page number 10 from GS3 Economy Sector, the article is headlined as US Jobs Recession Paradox. So the US economy is creating jobs even as Fed is hiking rates. So can Fed bring down the inflation without triggering an unemployment surge? And what is the impact of paradox on emerging market economies? From this article, you have to know, can the US Federal Reserve bring down the inflation without triggering an unemployment surge? In addition, what is the impact of paradox on emerging market economies? Now moving on to page number 10 from GS3 Science and Technology, the article is headlined as Forever Chemicals, the risk they pose and a new way to destroy them. Now the word forever chemicals is used for perfluoro or polyfluoroalkyl substances, also known as PFAs. and these are known for their ability to stick around in atmosphere, in rainfall and soil for decades. So recently what has happened is a team of scientists have finally found a cheap and affordable way to degrade the hardy environmental pollutants which are known as the forever chemicals. So from this article you have to know about the forever chemicals and what harm do they cause, also how can these chemicals be removed from the rainwater. Moving on page number 13 from GS3 Economy Sector, the article is headlined as For Amrit Kal in Agriculture. Now this article is written by Mr. Ashok Gulati. As we celebrate the 75 years of independence and enter the Amrit Kal towards 2047, the writer says that let us focus on Indian agriculture and see what our farmers and agri-scientists have achieved in the last 75 years and what more innovations or anusandhan need to be made in the agri-food space by 2047, which is aimed to have a well-fed India with zero hunger and almost no malnutrition, climate resilience and high incomes for our farmers. So from this article, you have to know about the achievement of Indian agriculture in the last 75 years. Also, what are the government interventions related to it and what more innovations need to be made in the agri-food space by 2047 to have a well-fed India. Alright, with this we move on to our last article for the day. It is on page number 16 pertaining to GS3 Governance Sector. The article is headlined as MPC's Goel, Freebies never free, parties must tell trade-offs to vote. So recently, the RBI Monetary Policy Committee member, Ms. Ashima Goel, has said that freebies are never free and when political parties offer such schemes, they must be required to make the financing and trade-offs clear to the voters. So from this article, first of all, you have to know what are freebies and also the issues linked to them. Further on, what are the ways to handle them. Alright, with this we call it a wrap of today's edition of Headlines of the Day, the Indian Express. I hope you liked the video. I will see you with some other video. Till then, take care and do stay tuned.